The economy is what's in your pocket. The economy is what's in your pocket. My name is Anthony Lindsay, and I've been in finance for over 30 years, so I know a thing or two. I've done everything from debt collection to wealth management, and I am an FCA-regulated mortgage broker. So what that means is I can provide a wealth of advice from a wealth of experience. So what do I mean when I say the economy is in your pocket? Well, one of the top questions that any mortgage broker or advisor probably gets asked is, when is the right time to buy? Now, if I'm honest with you, the right time to buy is always now, but it will always depend on your individual circumstances. So if you feel that you're in a good financial situation, you have enough saved up for a deposit, and you want to move, and your finances are looking good, now might be a good time to buy, regardless of what the interest rates are. Conversely, if you've just been notified that you're going to be made redundant, if you're behind on bills, if you're struggling to make ends meet, then regardless of what happens with the Bank of England base rate, now probably isn't a good time for you to buy. Now, when you're considering purchasing a new home, and usually it's the first home because that's where a lot of the anxiety comes when someone's never purchased before, you need to make sure that you have the right people around you, the right people giving the right advice. So don't get your financial advice from TikTok, don't get it from LinkedIn, don't get it from Facebook. Get it from a qualified broker that you know, that you trust, someone who knows and understands your personal circumstances. Because there are no two homes that are exactly the same, there are no two buyers that are exactly the same, and there are no two deals that are exactly the same. Last year, I had a friend of mine who was looking to purchase, and she was convinced that she wouldn't qualify for a mortgage. This is despite the fact that she had been saving. She had a considerable amount for a deposit. She was managing her finances well. She was doing all of the things right. At some point in her experience, someone had told her that it would be really hard for her to get a mortgage. It wasn't based on her individual circumstances. It was just one of those things that people say. Just like the conversation that is happening both in the US and the UK around how difficult it is to get on the housing ladder. Now, that may be true for some people and less true for other people. So this individual, this friend of mine, she was told that it would be very difficult for her to find a home. We were talking about it, and I said, well, let's do this. Let's look at your finances. When we looked at them, as I said, she had a good amount in savings. What she was looking to purchase was within her means. She'd been at her job for a while. So I said, let's get you an agreement in principle. Let's start there. So we ran an application, got her an agreement in principle. And an agreement in principle is essentially a bank saying that based on this cursory information that you've provided, we'd be willing to lend you X amount. We got that agreement in principle. She took that, and based on what the bank said they would lend to her, she started looking for homes. It took her about 3-4 months. She found a couple of homes that she was interested in. She allowed me to negotiate the deal for her, so I dealt directly with the estate agents. Some of them didn't go through. Some of them, the estate agents or the seller was looking for more than my client was willing to spend. But long story short, she ended up finding a home that she loved, that was within her budget and was where she wanted it to be. She completed about 2 months ago. So the moral of this story is, don't just listen to what people tell you. If you're ready to buy and you're in a good financial situation, or you feel that you may be, just speak to a mortgage broker. Speak to someone that can review your finances, that can look at your profile, look at the deals that are out there, and give you some options. Then you can look at those options and decide if they fit your needs. Now, on the other hand, you might have some people that just feel that they are ready to buy and are in a good situation, and they might speak to me or another broker, and we may look at it and say, well, look, maybe you should give it a few more months, because maybe you should save up some more, because when you're purchasing the home, it's going to be more than just the deposit. So in addition to the deposit, you need moving fees, you need solicitor's fees, etc. So you may not hear what you want to hear, but the key is you need to know when the best time for you to buy is. Not what the market is saying, not what the Bank of England base rate is saying, because the question that you have to ask yourself when it comes to mortgage rates is, what are you comparing it to? Right now, mortgage rates are higher than they were 2 or 3 years ago. But what's to say that mortgage rates won't continue to go up? We don't know if mortgage rates are going to go down. And the other thing to consider is just the simple and basic economy 101. The more readily available a product or service is, in this case a home, the more homes that are available, the more homes that are available, the less expensive they're going to be, because there's a lot available. But the fewer homes that are available, the more expensive they're going to be. So let's just say the Bank of England reduces the rate. You're going to have more people going after homes. So that's going to make the supply a lot lower. And because the supply is a lot lower, although the rate is lower, and maybe it's easier for you to get a mortgage, it means you're going to end up spending more for that property. Conversely, as house prices go up, you have fewer people going after those properties, and the sellers realize that they're having fewer offers, so maybe they're more willing to negotiate. So when you ask me, or when you ask a mortgage broker, when is the right time to buy? The answer should always be, well, let's look at your finances. Let's look at your situation. It's not just about the economy. It's not just about Bank of England base rates. That's not to say that you shouldn't be wise. You should always consider what's going on in the wider economy, but you want to make sure that your personal circumstances align with buying a new property. And here's some good news. If you go to a broker and you do get an agreement in principle, you find a home that you want to purchase, you make an offer, that offer is accepted. Right now, it's taken quite a while for completion, 4 to 6 months in many cases. If within that time, the interest rates go lower, that mortgage broker can potentially put you on a lower rate. However, if the interest rates go higher, as long as you have a mortgage offer in place, you'll be protected against those increases. So I always encourage people to go to a mortgage broker as opposed to going directly to their bank, simply because a mortgage broker is going to have more options for you. They'll be able to go to more lenders. And if rates change within the time between you making an offer and you looking to complete, they may be able to put you on a better rate. Now, obviously, this is always based on your individual circumstances, and you should always speak to a competent, honest broker, and each circumstance is going to be a little bit different.